Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar's cousin, that came into the rap space, hasn't released no solo music since September 2022. But it wasn't like, oh, we got a new project in 2022. We got a deluxe in September of 2022. The last time we got a brand new album from Baby Keem was in 2021. It's been years since the man dropped something brand new and his fans is starving. Anytime Baby Keem's name get brought up, people get defeated. I mean, Tyler the Creator just came out. He dropped Coma Crow. Baby Keem had a single ad lib, one ad lib on the whole project, and the internet was on fire. Twitter was like, is that Baby Keem? Is that Baby Keem? And throughout his career, we done seen a lot of people in the industry really show their respects and pay their respects to Baby Keem. This man is a very interesting character because his potential is insane, but he never fully embraced that. Baby Keem, artist, producer, has been someone in the industry for a while now, and I mean, what do you expect? He's cousins with Kendrick Lamar.
Right around the time that you started making music is around the time that you reconnected with Kendrick. But I focused in on the word reconnecting. As you guys lost touch, what had happened exactly?
I was a kid, honestly. Like, I wouldn't even say lost touch. Like, I was just like, last time I seen him, I was probably like really young, like probably like 5 or something. I was just a kid, like, you know what I mean? So I probably would say like, I had started making music when I was like 14, right? I didn't see him. It was an unfortunate situation that happened in my family, and then I guess we kind of just connected through that. But I wasn't really making music to the point where I would be like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was just kicking it, like, you know, whatever. It was whatever. He didn't really even know until like later. I finally just like sent him a song. Like, he heard something, and I guess he's like, I'm gonna play this for everybody in the studio. And I'm like, all right, for sure. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna send them no more music. I'm gonna wait and get better again, and then we'll come back later for a minute. I don't know, yeah, we just touched bases on that, but we connected through that unfortunate situation that had happened. Yeah, we just got cool, like, you know what I mean, just on a regular aspect. He didn't even know I made music. I was on something like, I just wanna go, like, he was like, what do you wanna do? I was like, I just wanna go to college, bro. like, I'm gonna figure it out, like, cause I wasn't even 100% sure, like, I was even good at music, so.
But him being cousins with Kendrick Lamar ain't mean that his whole life was just all good. Like you heard him say, for years and years, Kendrick wasn't there. Kendrick wasn't like a big part of his life. And throughout these years of no Kendrick, he kind of be struggling. He said that during this time, he would want to rap, but he was scared because his voice was too high or this or that. But on top of that, he hated where he was. He was real public about not liking Las Vegas and not wanting to be there. And I mean, you could tell because Baby Keem wouldn't just be dropping music all throughout the early 2010s. He went through a phase I think everybody done went. This man, Baby Keem, was dropping gameplay videos on YouTube. I mean, he was doing whole Minecraft Let's Plays, whole Minecraft videos. And look, like I said, everybody got some Minecraft videos out there on the internet. Even me. If the internet found it, I'm cooked, but y'all ain't found it. Point is, Keem would start making these YouTube videos, then later on get to rapping. He making these songs, dropping these projects. And like I said, Kendrick wasn't there at first, but eventually he would come into the picture and start putting his hand into Baby Keem's music. And it didn't go unnoticed. An article from July 2018 will come out saying, meet Hakeem Carter, the mysterious artist who has credits on multiple TDE projects. And I mean, people looking at him like this kind of made sense because like the article said, he was on multiple TDE projects. And it wasn't like, oh, he was on some little shit or maybe he did a song. Or this man had insane producer credits. He was on many projects. He was on the Black Panther soundtrack, $1 billion movie, by the way. So he had all kind of producer credits any and everywhere. And you probably thinking that dude sound real industry planish. And I mean, that's a valid take. Kendrick is cousin. Now he getting TDE placements. Now he getting put on these crazy albums. But Baby Keem will come out saying that he didn't use Kendrick to get these connections. Now, are these claims true or not? We don't know, but we just gotta take what Baby Keem said at face value. He came out saying that I didn't use Kendrick to get put on these projects. He went the route of regular artists. He would start sending out all of these beats. He said TDE pack a beat. TDE just so happened to see his beat and put him on these albums and put him on the Black Panther soundtrack. When Complex asked him how he got involved, this is exactly what he said. I sent a pack of beats to the TDE email and it just so happened that I ended up on the soundtrack. And it was like the start of his career. He didn't really want it to be known that he was Kendrick Lamar's cousin, because in this same Complex interview from July 2018, they would ask him about, oh, how you get into music? And this is what he would say. I was raised around a talented family. All my older uncles and cousins rap, so being around it came natural. I made my first real song at 15. It was called Come Through. Thankfully, nobody was able to find it online. But at the same time, he would really start to ramp up his music. 2018, he would base his first project, his debut project, The Sound of Bad Habit. He was more underground at this time. He wasn't no huge name, but it dropped. And it did what it needed to do. And over these next few years, we would see Baby Keem really mold into somebody we knew, really mold into this name. But at the same time, as he would be growing his career, industry plant allegations would get put on him. Over the next few years, it would come out that Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar were related. So people started looking, oh, so that's why you got them. That's why you was here. And that's why you did this and did that. And I mean, there would be many times where Kendrick or Keem will come out doing interviews just speaking on each other. Hip Hop DX wrote this: Kendrick Lamar's cousin Baby Keem to be the next in the long line of celebrated rappers. During a recent interview with ID Magazine, K-Dot conversed with Keem about his blossoming career and his process, explaining how the 20-year-old artist gained his respect, but it was a bumpy road to get there. Keem admits that he had already mentally checked out from high school and was struggling to keep up with his grades, but Kendrick insisted that he graduated. Auntie called me, asking me what's going on. He told Keem, this nigga missed all type of days of school, letters getting sent to the house. I'm like, man, he been out here. Kendrick said, I felt some type of accountability. You talented, but you gotta graduate. So it was about finding that middle ground, but it did work out. And at this point in Baby Keem's career, him and Kendrick would be open about being related. But their relationship would start to have a negative effect on Baby Keem. Because, like I said, people looking at him, people calling him an industry plant. And like other people in similar situations, the man would start to have his industry plant label through on him. Now, it was nowhere near as bad as some of these other artists, Love Mabu or Coil Ray, for example. These are people that get this industry plant label through on them real bad, and it's really damaging to their career. But I think it's something else to play here when speaking on Baby Keem. So yeah, Keem had these plant allegations through on him, but when comparing him to other people with the same allegations, what would really stand out is the music. Baby Keem had always had solid music good enough that it could stand on its own without no antics, without having to troll on social media or cause problems or act like Lil Mabu, where anytime he want to drop music, it has to be memes to go along with it or viral clips online to go along with it. He just did a whole rollout where he was caked up with an OF girl. Baby Keem didn't have to do none of that. And people paid attention. People realized 2019, 2020, he would have these songs start going viral. Remember Orange Soda? Song was everywhere. And for some years, we would have Baby Keem really starting to build up a fan base, and people were appreciating it. Even Drake, out of all people, was reaching out to Baby Keem. They had their own little rocky relationship. That's gonna be important later. But Drake was openly showing love to Baby Keem since like 2018, 2019. And this was before the whole Drake-Kendrick beef. I mean, Drake was passing out songs to Baby Keem. If you remember back in 2021, Drake dropped this Scary Hours EP. There was a song on there that was supposed to have Baby Keem on it. Hip Hop DX wrote this: Baby Keem has been on Drake's radar for some time now. While he often looks to share his global platform with budding stars, here he is, yet to connect with Keem on a record. And at that time, Baby Keem and Playboi Carti were supposed to be on What's Next by Drake. So the official version came out and it ended up just being a Drake song. Baby Keem said, I don't know what happened. That's just his process. I look at it like this: if we don't work now, we'll work later, especially with someone like Drake. That's his process. I can't hate on another man's process. So we had Keem and Drake working together, and we also had Drake reaching out to Keem years before this moment. When one of Baby Keem's first big projects would come out, Die For My Bitch, Drake would come out showing love. He would reach out trying to tap in with him. But y'all know how Drake is with new artists. He either could have been trying to pull a weekend with him where he linked up with Baby Keem and started stealing his sauce and start stealing his songs, or maybe he wanted to just show genuine love to Baby Keem. You can never know with Drake.
One collaboration that people have been speculating on is you potentially working with Drake. I saw the picture of him popping up at your show.
Yeah.
How did you guys
I
connect?
think it was like right when tapped in. So he as soon as Die For My Bitch came out, it was probably like a few months after, he like reached out. Yeah, he's like, what's her up? I just remember like seeing a bunch of emojis. And I'm just like, it wasn't even a conversation on working. It was just like, I look up to you. Like, you know what I mean? So like, honestly, I'd be like, I look to him like, I'm like, yo, like any advice I could ever soak up from him is just try to do that. You know what I mean? But I don't know if we'll ever work. Like, we'll see like whatever happens in the process. Like, there's been some talks about it, but you know, it just gotta happen. It gotta be the right record, and it gotta be the right situation, the right timing.
All this talk around Keem's name though would lead up to one moment. The moment that would really amplify his career and put him in front of the mainstream eyes. He would come out and release his big debut studio album, Melodic Blue. Now this was an album that had the eyes of everyone paying attention to it. For years, he was known as Kendrick Lamar's cousin. He would drop all of these singles, feed the fans, but throughout this whole time, we was in 2021, and he still hasn't followed up his project from 2019. I mean, we would see the man Baby Keem even pop up on a Kanye project. Now, this was Kanye 4 years ago. This wasn't the Hitler-loving Kanye that we know today. I mean, he probably did love Hitler at that time, but he wasn't public about it. All of this to say, before Baby Keem even had his debut album out, he had Kanye features, he had Drake wanting to work with him, he had all of these people paying attention to him. Then just on top of all of that, him and Kendrick will come out, drop a hit song that took over the world a month before his album would drop. Not only that, this song won the man a Grammy.
The Grammy goes to Family Ties, Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar.
Nothing could prepare me for this moment tonight. I just want to say thank you to my support system, the city of Las Vegas, my family, the women that raised me to shape me, become the man I am today. My team, my incredible team, the women and men that helped shape everything that we got going on behind the scenes. Dave Free, Kendrick, Naya, Ant, and many more. I can't even just thank you, everybody.
Keep in mind, this is all before his debut studio album. So time comes for the album. Everybody had something to say about this album.
Verse to an extent, I felt like he was going into these tracks with a bunch of high energy, explosive energy more often than not. And for this to be titled The Melodic Blue, it was very tart as a listening experience. There was a lot of abrasive cuts, transitions that didn't necessarily help the song structure that sometimes was ruined because there was a vocal inflection that he wanted to attempt on another track, and it didn't always work, you know. And when it does work, it's great. It makes the track more explosive, it adds a lot more personality. But when it doesn't work, you just feel like you are driving in the passenger seat, and the person that has the wheel, the person's behind the wheel, they're constantly braking really hard. They're going 60 and a 40. They're going 40 and an 80. It's just like nothing seems to be going the way it's supposed to go. A bunch of these tracks have quality to them. A lot of them have some enjoyability, but I'm trying to find where the replay value would be, because some of these tracks don't really feel like they exist for a reason, because Keem sometimes just isn't really pulling you in when it comes to the info that's on this album. He is the star of the show, no doubt, and his features are not stealing the limelight away from him at any capacity in this album. But when he is front and center, it's like, do you remember what he's talking about when he's speaking about himself? You know, the main takeaways from this record are he came up from a difficult situation in dealing with family. He came up with from a difficult situation when it comes to dealing with his mother's addiction. But it doesn't show up enough in the album for it to be a focal point. Other than that, he's pretty much rapping about being the more original star that's coming up in the rap game, which is interesting, which is cool, but it would have better suited the narrative of an EP as opposed to a 16-track album. You being original and feeling like you want to, you know, have a relationship that's low-key, I don't think is enough content to serve a 16-track album. I enjoy this album for what its potential is. The ideas that sometimes happen here, but I do think Keem is I don't know, it might feel like he's so afraid of being reminiscent of other artists that he prevents himself from fully realizing his own ideas.
And his career was looking so right. He was on the path that every other artist wanted to be on. He had the success of a Grammy in his pocket, a fan base that loved him, wanted music from him. Left, he disappeared. Right at the height of all of his success, instead of capitalizing on it, he made a decision. Maybe a career-ruining decision, maybe a decision that won't hurt him. We don't really know yet. But he decided to get up and leave everything behind. He just vanished. And people really started to question, why did Baby Keem abandon his career? Like I said earlier, he drops Melodic Blue. He turns around, full year later, drops a deluxe. Now it wasn't a full-length deluxe, it was just a couple extra songs. And people haven't heard from him since. Fans is hungry. Fans is starving. They fiending. They want some Baby Keem. I mean, type Baby Keem name on Twitter you gonna see somebody always asking, my nigga, where's Baby Keem? See, on this channel, I done covered plenty of people in the same situation that had a fan base, grew it into something strong, and left it. He pulled a Comethazine. Remember, for years and years, Comethazine would drop all of this consistent music, building up this fan base, and right at the height of it all, he would leave music for years and years and would eventually become a completely different artist. He would come back out into this music space with a completely different style of music. He came back and was a psychedelic rock artist instead of this murder kill talk. Now, Keem hasn't made a comeback yet. Keem hasn't switched genres, none of that. That was just an example of what happened the last time an established artist really took a break like this. Point is, fans is left speculating. Fans is left wondering, what does he got going on? Because it's not like, oh, Baby Keem disappeared, but he's still posting here and there. Baby Keem really don't do none of that social media talk. He don't really post online. He don't talk online. He don't say much. He's just been gone. But him being missing from the game don't mean he wasn't in no drama. As Baby Keem would be gone, many times we would see people dragging him in a situation. I mean, there was a time where JPEG Mafia was trying to spark up beef with Baby Keem. He was coming at Baby Keem out of nowhere about having Kendrick on his side and having Kendrick boost his sale up. He dropped the bar where he was like, I didn't have no cousin that helped boost me up, on some shit like that, just throwing weird shots. But that wasn't the end of the situation. 2 years into Baby Keem break from music, Drake and Kendrick will spark up one of, if not the most iconic rap beef of all time. They beefing, dropping diss tracks on each other every other day. But guess who got brought into this beef even without saying a word? Keem. Remember though, Baby Keem and Drake had their own relationship. Kendrick, Drake beefing. Drake drops a Baby Keem bar. Drake would tell Kendrick, your music only hitting when Baby Keem put his pen to it. And then people will start to get to digging into this bar. They like, what you mean? Does Baby Keem really be right for Kendrick? People start looking. They start dissecting everything like they did everything else during the whole beef. And it was whole articles being written on this. Hip Hop DX wrote this. Kendrick Lamar has seen accusations that he works with ghostwriters surface online after a reference track by Baby Keem was leaked. Fans have been pointing out K-Dot's comments in the 2017 Rolling Stone article and his opinions on ghostwriting. When asked about ghostwriters for rappers, the Compton native gave a non-committal answer. It depends on what arena you're putting yourself in. I call myself the best rapper. I cannot call myself the best rapper if I have a ghostwriter. If you're saying you're a different type of artist and you don't really care about the art form of being the best rappers, so be it. Make great music, but the title, it won't be there. This all brings us to the question. What's next for Baby Keem? He can make a comeback to the internet tomorrow, next week, next month. We don't really have a clue at all. We don't know what Baby Keem is doing in the background. He could be in his bag, making his music, making hit songs that he trying to put on the album. Or he could have been a huge artist. This is a big what if situation. Think of it like a Sofago. Like, what if Sofago never signed to Travis Scott? What if Baby Keem never took a break? He could have been such a big artist right now. I feel like he could have been like a giant. He could be doing 100K first week. He could be doing Yeet and Ken Carson numbers. He could be around the same size as them, maybe even bigger. But we don't know because he didn't stick around. Now, I don't think his career is dead or anything, because if Baby Keem wanted to make a comeback, he could make a comeback. But I think only time will tell what's really next for Baby Keem in his career.